A sealed Lego box can sit in a closet for 10 years and quietly do something most people never expect. It can beat Wall Street, a toy, a box of plastic bricks, something made for kids to spill across the carpet. And yet, some Lego sets have gone from a few $100s to several thousand, not because someone built them, but because someone refused to build them. Imagine buying the Lego Star Wars Ultimate Collector's Millennium Falcon in 2007 for about $500, leaving it sealed, and later seeing sealed copies valued around $3,000. Imagine a tiny gold minifigure from a blind bag becoming worth more than a high-end laptop because only 5,000 were produced. Welcome to the strange market where Lego becomes an investment, nostalgia becomes a price tag, and childhood gets traded like an asset. The idea is simple. Lego releases a set. People buy it. After a few years, Lego retires it. Once it disappears from official shelves, supply starts shrinking. Some boxes get opened, some sets get built, some pieces get lost under sofas, mixed into giant bins, or handed to children who have no idea they are destroying future resale value. But sealed sets become rarer every year. And because Lego is not just plastic, that matters. Every set carries a year, a box design, a franchise, a memory, and a feeling. When a retired set becomes hard to find, buyers are not only paying for bricks, they are paying for the version of themselves that once wanted it. That is the first reason some Lego sets outperform stocks. Adults are buying unfinished childhood business. When you are a kid, Lego feels like control. You can build a castle, destroy it, rebuild it as a spaceship, then turn the spaceship into a restaurant for pirates. You control a tiny world, then life becomes rent, deadlines, screens, stress, and work where progress is often invisible. Lego gives adults something rare, a clear problem with a clear solution. Open the bag, find the piece, click it into place. For a few hours, the world makes sense. For collectors, a sealed box adds another layer. It is potential. The build is still inside. The childhood dream has not been used up yet. That is why some people buy Lego and never open it. To collectors, the sealed box is preservation. It is a little vault of scarcity, and the box becomes valuable because most people cannot resist opening it. That is the economic magic trick. Lego makes many sets, but not forever. Once a set retires, there is no endless restock. There is just a shrinking pool of boxes in the wild. Every open box makes the sealed ones scarcer. In normal markets, scarcity matters. In collectibles, emotional scarcity matters even more. A rare stock certificate means almost nothing to most people. A rare Lego Star Wars set instantly means something to millions of fans. It carries a universe, a status signal, and a story the community understands. Researchers have studied this market, and one well-known paper found average annual returns of at least 11% for unopened Lego sets across a long historical sample. That does not mean every set beats the stock market. Many do not. But the best performers show why collectors pay attention. The strongest Lego sets have a rare mix: limited supply, global demand, emotional attachment, brand trust, and a built-in retirement cycle. Lego cannot keep every set alive forever. Shelf space is limited. New movies arrive. New themes replace old ones. So a box that looks ordinary today can quietly become tomorrow's impossible-to-find prize. This is why Lego retirement dates are watched like market signals. In collector groups, people ask, is it retiring soon? Does it have exclusive minifigures? Is it tied to Star Wars, Harry Potter, Marvel, a famous building, or a holiday tradition? Is it the first set in a series? Is the box perfect? And yes, people stack sealed Lego boxes in closets, garages, and storage units, waiting for the right moment to sell. It sounds funny until you see the prices. Take the original Ultimate Collector's Millennium Falcon, set 10179. Around $500 for Lego felt outrageous when it launched, but it was huge, detailed, and tied to one of the most famous ships in movie history. After retirement, sealed copies climbed into the thousands. That is not just price appreciation. That is mythology. Han Solo, Chewbacca, childhood movie nights, and Star Wars fans wanting the ultimate display piece. Then there is Cafe Corner, set 10182, one of the early Lego modular buildings. To modular collectors, it is part of the origin story, the missing chapter in a personal museum. When a set becomes the beginning of a beloved series, people do not just want it, they feel incomplete without it. This is one of the strongest forces in collecting. Completion. Humans hate gaps. A missing set on a shelf feels like a story with a page torn out. That is why collectors chase rare minifigures, retired boxes, and special editions, even when the price seems irrational to everyone else. That is where emotion and economics lock together. The more people commit to a theme, the more demand exists for retired parts of that theme. The more demand grows, the more valuable sealed copies become. The more valuable they become, the more investors notice. And once investors start buying multiples, supply gets even tighter. That is how a toy market starts acting like a financial market. But Lego has one strange advantage over stocks. If the investment fails, it is still Lego. If a stock crashes, you have a depressing number on a screen. If a set does not rise, you can build it. That emotional safety net makes people more willing to hold. A sealed Lego box is fragile, corners dent, tape dries, sunlight fades packaging. Moisture can ruin value. Storage takes space. Shipping is expensive. Fees eat profit. Buyers are picky. Selling a collectible is not like selling a stock. You need one person who wants that exact set, in that exact condition, at that exact price. So, the real lesson is not Lego always beats stocks. The real lesson is some retired, sealed, carefully chosen Lego sets have produced impressive returns, but they come with problems stocks do not have. You cannot instantly sell a Death Star at market close, you cannot store hundreds of boxes without becoming a warehouse, and if Lego releases a newer version of a famous set, demand for the old one can change. That is why the strongest sets usually have something extra: exclusive minifigures, short production windows, famous franchises, first-in-series status, unusual pieces, or display value that makes people stop and stare. Nobody needs Mr. Gold, that is the point. Collectibles are not driven by need. They are driven by desire, and desire gets stronger when other people want the same thing. This is why community matters. A collectible without a community is just an object. A collectible with a community becomes a language. That knowledge creates status. Spotting tomorrow's valuable set gives people the thrill of being smarter than the market. And that thrill is addictive. It is the same force behind sneaker collecting, Pokemon cards, sealed video games, luxury watches, and classic cars. You are not just buying an item. You are making a prediction about culture. You are saying, people will care about this later. Sometimes they do, sometimes they care a lot, and adults bring adult money. They buy bigger sets, shelves, lighting kits, storage, and sometimes duplicates. One to build, one to keep sealed. A rare Lego set is competing for identity and nostalgia. Nostalgia may be one of the most powerful economic forces in the world. You cannot become 8 years old again. You cannot go back to the toy aisle with your parents. You cannot reopen the exact Christmas morning you remember, but you can buy the set. You can hold the box. You can say, I finally got it. That is not purely rational. It is emotional repair. This is why some Lego sets outperform stocks. Not because plastic is magical, not because every box is guaranteed profit, but because the best Lego sets combine scarcity with meaning. Stocks represent ownership in a business. Lego represents ownership in a feeling, and feelings can be incredibly expensive. There is a darker side. When toys become investments, they stop being only toys. People buy sets not to build them, but to hide them. Scarcity becomes strategy. A hobby built around imagination can start sounding like a trading floor. The same set that helps one person feel like a kid again can make another feel priced out of their own childhood. So the bigger story is not just that Lego can beat stocks. The bigger story is that culture itself has become investable. We live in a world where memories have market prices. Pokemon cards, sneakers, sealed video games, comic books, and Lego sets can all become financial objects because millions of people share the same emotional reference points. The market is not only tracking profit, it is tracking longing. That is why a sealed Lego set can sit quietly in a closet and become more valuable with time. Not because it changes, the bricks stay the same, the instructions stay the same, the box just waits. What changes is us. A set that looked expensive at $500 becomes priceless to the person who missed it. A toy that once sat on a shelf becomes a trophy. A box of plastic becomes a story about scarcity, memory, patience, and desire. So the next time you see a Lego set behind glass, priced like a piece of technology, remember this. You are not just looking at a toy. You are looking at a tiny market built out of nostalgia. And somewhere, in a closet, under a bed, or stacked carefully in a storage unit, someone is holding a sealed box and hoping the rest of the world misses childhood just a little bit more tomorrow. Thanks for watching. To get the complete understanding, make sure you've watched video 3. Stay tuned for the final part of this series.